From Slaughterville, Oklahoma to Frankenstein, Missouri. From Bloody Springs, Mississippi to Goblin Town, Virginia. Let's ride. We want to ride shotgun with you for the next hour, talking trucking with Deaton and Doty. How's it going, everybody?
Town.
Do we need a mulligan on that one? Or?
I think it's okay.
Hey, just go with it. We're live.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of thought we're going into October on Friday, so I would we picked out some cities that kind of go with Halloween.
Still September.
Wait, did you do Halloween Town, USA?
I didn't, but we'll do these throughout the month of October. There's so many.
Spoiler
cities.
alert! It's next week.
Yeah, but I was wondering, Christian, have you ever heard of Goblin Town, Virginia?
No, I have not. No, where is it? Did you look it up?
I didn't, but
Two people live there.
Ian or Zach can tell us where it's at, where it's near. They'll look it up now. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. And Frankenstein, Missouri. I've never heard of that. I didn't know there was a city called Frankenstein, but that's pretty cool. Maybe we can get Mackie or somebody to go through there. Mackie would probably be the ideal candidate because he goes to Iowa to see mom. What do you think, Jim?
Oh, might have lost him.
No, he had to mute. He said he was going to go
in.
check in, but we'll ask him that a little later. If we can get a picture of Jim or a picture of the Frankenstein, Missouri.
He said if it pays, it'll go anywhere.
Right. Slaughterville, Oklahoma. Bloody
Goblin
Springs.
Town or Goblinville?
It's Goblin Town, Virginia.
Ferrystone Park High.
I just learned.
It's south of here, like 20. It's just like 10 minutes south of Ferrum. I should know that.
You should.
Yeah,
But,
you might
I know where
get a
Bassett
picture
is and
outside
Woolwyn, but it's
Isn't there
like
Dracula,
it's in my
Georgia,
backyard.
too?
Hey, it's right there in your backyard. So can you get it? If there's a sign that says Goblinville, can you get that for us? Take a ride.
I'm not sure there's going to be a sign if you look at where this is at on the map, but they're probably playing banjos out there.
Yeah.
They're probably using handsets for Zoom calls now too.
Yeah, if you can go out there and find the sign that's all shot up and has population 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Be the right
Hey, Christian,
place.
can you grab some tools and go steal a sign for us?
Not since high school, I can't.
Yeah, right.
There's a place on I-80, Mike. I don't know if you remember seeing this. Ray, I'm sure you remember. It's called, I don't know what the name of the town. Joel, you might remember. It said something Wyoming, population 1. You remember that, Joel?
That was the deer I hit.
Yeah, I'll have to figure that one out. But there is a sign on I-80. Maybe Jim or
He passed away last week. It was 0 now.
I just learned about goblet squats on my new workout machine. Goblet squat.
There
I
you
guess
go.
it's not goblet
That
squat.
town was
Close
easy to
enough.
do the census in.
do you remember that, Ray? On I-80, it says population 1, whatever the name of the town is.
Yeah, I have seen that. I just can't recall where I've seen it.
I
but
can't either.
I do remember seeing it.
Yeah, it's definitely in Wyoming.
It's Brian Landry.
I think it's when you're going up by Rock Springs, but I could be off.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Anyway, how's it going? Drivers out there, how's it going, guys? What's been going on in Roanoke and Port Charlotte? Isn't that where you live, Mike?
Tarpon Springs.
Tarpon
just outside of
Springs.
Tampa.
Yeah.
My brother's down
It's
in
all
Fort
Florida.
Charlotte. Yeah.
Fort DeSoto.
It's all Florida.
Speaking of Florida, I
How's
didn't
that?
get any Florida man stuff.
I know
He's full.
Dog the bounty hunters down there.
you still have last
Yeah,
week.
there's enough. Oh yeah, you're right. I do.
Yeah,
I
because we didn't get
crashed
to it
though.
last week and we had some good ones.
Yeah.
So
The dog.
Yeah, we've been watching
Wanna
all
see
the
that.
Dog the Bounty Hunter updates. He is right on the
He's
on the
entertaining.
trail.
Looking for Brian
Yeah.
Landry.
he's got a great mullet too.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're gonna go there again.
God among men. Only the
I
most
mean-
powerful men have that haircut.
Yeah.
Pioneers
Hair
have
metal.
that haircut.
Meanwhile,
Well,
Zach's
between the
working on his
mullet, the shirt he wears, his pecs, and his tan, I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
He's just
He's got it going on.
on point. Yeah.
Kind of looks like a Florida man.
Hawaii man.
Yeah, he does.
Definitely.
It's like a Crocodile Dundee took up residence. His state would definitely be
It's like
Florida.
Crocodile Dundee and Hulk Hogan had a baby.
While on meth.
Right.
Hey, but
in
But you know
Florida.
what? Kelly did point out a Florida man won that Highway Heroes or Highway Angels thing or whatever it was
Yeah.
that they hand out. That was a Florida man that got it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Speaking of Callaway,
What did she bring that up in? I didn't see that one.
No, she texted me the other day.
Oh. Well, so the Pickum Contest, we figured it out. Everybody's got their stuff in. We're going to go over last week's results, but here's how we're going to pay this out. So we don't need to collect $5 every time we play. We're going to split the season. We're going to go through week 9. So everybody's going to pay $5 to do the Pickum Contest through week 9. Whoever has the most weekly wins. So right now, I think Kumar won 1 week and Berkowitz, our rep from Schneider, won last week, right, Joel?
Yeah, I don't think he knows it yet, but
Yeah, we haven't told him yet.
Oh, I
But
told him.
Joel, oh, you did. Okay, Joel will go over the results of last week, see where we were.
Did I actually win?
You did win the
Week
first
1.
week, yeah. So you got 1 win.
it doesn't count unless you know.
So whoever and this can be pretty competitive still. I mean, whoever has the most, if you get 3 wins over through week 9, 2-3 wins could win this. You know what I mean? So
I'm not out from my last week's.
You're not
performance
out.
Is what you're telling me. I
Actually,
really appreciate that.
you had a better week last week. I'm sure Joel will fill us all in here shortly. But
Good.
so everybody after week 9 is played through, we can do Cash App, Venmo, or whatever. We'll do it. And whoever had the most wins for the first half of the season, weekly wins, not cumulative. So not, you got 13 right 1 week and then you got 4 right the next. Just whoever got the weekly win.
Right.
So if Kumar wins 3 weeks and everybody else is 2 or 1, Kumar's going to win the first half. So that'll be a pretty good chunk of money. What, $5 a week times 9 weeks for $45 a person. And I think there's 10 people or so in. So that's a nice little chunk of change for whoever gets this. And then
Now, I want to be clear.
Go ahead.
We have to pick them ourselves, though, right? I've got a brother who's a master at sports and gambling, but I have not solicited his help. But I also that's a violation of the rules, right?
I did not make that a rule. Jim Mackey doesn't follow football, and Jim asked me if his brother can help him with his picks. And so I can't go back on telling Jim, yeah, he can, because his brother watches football, but it hasn't helped Jim yet. So
yeah, no one can be that great at it.
Yeah.
So right?
Okay, guys. This is like what he lives to do, He watches football all the time. But I'll just.
So what you're saying?
You can tell it's still going to be me doing it because the Jets are always going to have a circle around them.
Yeah.
I don't know, that first week I did better than all y'all, and I just guessed.
He doesn't even know anything about football, and he did really well. You didn't do better than Kumar, but
no, I came in second place though.
Yeah. So
So
Joel,
is it okay for me to send my pick list to Louis and see if he'll help me out with it?
you can do that.
That would be
we
insider information.
We didn't make that rule, so
we should have. You know what we should do? We should invite him, and then see if we can beat Louis. It's kind of like what's that? Win Ben Stein's money.
I think I could get it. Lou, actually, Ray and I were chatting with Louis
right now.
We were chatting with Louis the other night because I invited Louis. I'm going to the Browns game, club seats, sitting in right on the sideline, club seats, really nice seats for Denver on a Thursday night primetime game. So I invited Louis to go, and I was like, "Come on, Louis," and he texts back, "Man, you're making this really hard to say no." Because they're great seats. So we'll see. He said he might go.
Is that a home game for y'all?
Excuse me.
Whoa, Joel.
Pardon me.
It hurt.
Yes, that is a home game.
Yeah, that's a home game Thursday night, prime time. We got really good seats. So there's quite a few of us here going in the off. Joel's going, Zach's going, Tina's going. So yeah, I told Louis,
Mike,
I said,
did
look,
you get your invitation? Anybody else?
he didn't.
I know I'm not I know I didn't win the Super Bowl or anything.
I
but
told Louis,
I do
listen,
play
man,
John Madden pretty well with my kids.
I can't be I don't have the pockets as like his agent does, but I said, Louis, I'll fly you up here first class. I'll get you a nice hotel. It'd be really cool to go to the game. And he knows those guys. Von Miller on the Denver Broncos, they're buddies, you know? who knows who?
That's
we'll
probably
get
the
to
best
meet.
money you can spend because you're going to get somewhere at that point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but who knows? Maybe he can, maybe he can't. I know he's got 2 little kids and he's busy with the new store or the new Prime Wellness and Fitness, but I'm not going to leave him alone about it till he says no. So anyway, Joel, can you fill us in on the Pickum last week? Let's go.
On the Pickum last week, as in wins and losses for each person.
No, just tell us, how many. Yeah, that's what I mean. So who won? I think we said.
All right. Yeah.
How many did he have? And then go through each person.
Congratulations. Yeah. To Mr. Berkovich. He is our winner at 13-3. Jim Mackey,
Jesus.
11-5. Russ, 11-5. Joel, 12-4. Carol, 0-1.
She only picked one team.
She's a Kansas City fan, picked them and lost.
And she paid her $5 too. There's an
Sorry,
envelope
Carol.
right there.
We got you marked down for that, Carol. Berkey, the winner. Answers Zach, 10-6.
Yeah.
Doty, 10-6. Mr. Sneed, 7-9. I'm kidding, Christian. You did 11-5. He did
11-5.
pretty good.
11-5, really?
Yeah.
Wade Nieto, 9-7.
9-7.
Yeah, he's Texas.
What was
Texas,
Ian?
Texas.
Mine got lost in the mail.
Ian, the dog ate his. I don't know, Ian, but he didn't win.
Okay.
I think you were 12 and no, you were 11-5. That's what it was.
Yeah, but Berkey won.
Berkey won.
Honestly, Christian, we had a little running joke in the office the last couple of days. We were going to tell you every week you got 6 and 10, like the first week.
Like he couldn't check his answers.
I'd be okay with it.
And Zach was like, he's going to know what he got. He knows what he picked. But
I don't watch a whole lot of football just because of my schedule, but I do check in the games with my kids. So, yeah, you guys could definitely have sold that for at least 5 or 6 weeks.
Well, that's cool, man. We didn't do it to you. So you had a much better week at 11 and 5.
11-5.
What did I have, Joel? 10-6 or 11?
11-5.
11. You tied with me.
11-5.
I got 12.
Yeah.
We both beat Doty and Joel. No, Joel beat it. 12-4.
Yeah, 12-4 is Joel.
That's right. But that don't matter, right? It's just the winner.
It's just the winner. So
Yep.
Berkey's got one, and that's why Johnny 5 jumped in late. So he can still catch up. He's filled out this week's. So you just need to rack 2-3 wins together and you're in there.
Yeah.
Russ, if it's a tiebreaker, who has the most W's? Is that how you're going to do it? If there's a tie?
No, actually, the reason we split the season because we can if there's a tie, we can take week 10, the 2 people that tied or 3 people that tied, and whoever gets the most out of those 3 on week 10,
like a roll off.
Yes, and then we can continue on with our other half of the season and into the playoffs. So it's going to be kind of fun. Yeah,
cool.
I like it.
All right.
Well, thanks, Joel. We'll get back to sports. In the meantime, Ian bought a house and he's got 30 years to pay on it, but he's certain that he has to get it painted tonight. So we need to get on to the news so Ian can go home and paint his house.
My wife actually has called the FBI. They are looking for me. So I really got to make this
Dog
quick.
the bounty hunter was here.
Dog the bounty hunter is actually coming for me now.
Got the wrong color paint.
So Ian, what's going on in trucking news?
All right. It was a pretty busy week. Got a couple things here. I'm sure you guys have heard about some possible national trucker shutdowns due to vaccine requirements. I can't even talk today. There's been lots of groups out there that have been trying to shut down national traffic. And in Ohio, let's see what his name is. Prosecutor Joseph T. Dieters, I'm sure he's a lovely individual, has come out and said, I want to be perfectly clear. Anyone who attempts to shut down the highway will be removed from their vehicles and charged with a felony. To those who claim to be supportive of law enforcement is not with you. So kind of scary to hear that going out to our truckers out there. So do be careful of what you do. Apparently they're not going to help you out.
How awesome would that be? Like 3 years from now, like every person you hire has that same felony on their record. No? Okay, maybe it's
felony. Wow.
or same charge. Sorry,
Yeah.
felony. Yeah.
Did you send me a link? Okay. All right. I don't have the link pulled up, so I can't share. I'll have to send some screenshots here to Matt when we put this up. Moving on over to Los Angeles port traffic, it is still absolutely insane. It's hovering between those 60 and 70 ships. They try to get 25 of them in there a day to get unloaded, but they still are not able to keep up with the traffic coming over from Asia. There is an estimated 500,000 containers that are
floating around,
that are just sitting on ships, waiting to get into the harbor. It has become even worse out there, but they're not the only ones who are experiencing anything like that. Over in London, we're going to do some international news. We don't really get to do that too often, but over in London, they have it's actually most of England. They're having a trucker shortage, and it is translating into a huge fuel shortage, which, well, actually, it wasn't too bad of a fuel shortage, but it was made worse by people going out and panic buying. There have been these hour-long to 2-hour-long, sometimes even more waits, or they call them queues, to get into their petrol stations to fuel up. So the army is going to be pulling tanker trucks for the citizens.
I read about that the other day.
Yeah, they're having to get the military involved. It's so bad out there. There was a $24 million bust down at the border of meth.
What border?
Not the Canadian one.
Yeah. what?
Oh, it was over at Eagle Pass.
Eagle Pass. Okay. West Texas Valley.
It was supposed to be an empty van, and apparently they found 1,221 pounds of meth hidden inside the walls of the trailer.
So it was a 53-foot dry van?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And they had claimed that it was empty. So I imagine they had a false wall up in front. That's usually or it's a pretty common thing. But these X-ray machines are really good at catching those. And then I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about the TikTok trends that happen. There is a new one that involves trucks.
No.
Can you guys guess what it could possibly be?
No.
Well, the new TikTok trend is a stowaway game. Basically, you hop on the back of a trailer and you go for a ride, and your friends film it. So
like hop on the DOT bumper.
Yeah, and hold on to whatever you can. I would imagine the trailer handle,
door lock bars.
Yeah,
Well, no,
yeah. The bars.
Did you see the guy going through Atlanta? Did you see that?
I think that's what this is. Yeah, kind of referring to, because it's the Atlanta PD had issued something saying, "Do not do this."
He wasn't even on the trailer bumper. He was on the passenger step, sitting on, holding the mirror.
Oh, that's a whole different one than I saw. Wow.
Yeah, he was on the passenger step, low enough so if you looked out the passenger window, you wouldn't see his head. Mm-hmm. You might just see his hands wrapped around the mirror, and that was it.
And then he posted that on TikTok.
Well, there was a guy filming the one I saw. Yeah, there was a guy filming from another truck that saw him. But that guy in the other truck, he was in another semi that was like, what is going on here in Atlanta?
So Matthew's going to throw these up in post when he puts our show together this week. But what you had on the screen over there, Ian, what was that? Someone riding on the back? I can't see.
Yeah, that's someone on the back.
On the back of the truck. Yeah, standing
back of the trailer.
Holding on to the handles.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like a reefer too.
Yeah. There's a vent on the back there.
Yeah.
Next up, this was a crazy one. Semi truck hauling 131 immigrants busted down at the border. Well, they had actually gotten through. I don't know if they had come through with the immigrants or.
Is this the Del Rio border where we've had the issues lately?
No, this was over near Anthony, New Mexico.
Oh, okay.
It's El Paso.
Okay.
That's where Juarez is on the other side.
So this truck was working with an SUV, and there was 11 people in the SUV, and I think it was like 140 people that were in this trailer.
Wow.
Yeah. They they had pictures up. We'll put up there. They're absolutely crazy.
How many were in the SUV?
11. Which actually, Zach, I think you and I have done
I
that
think we
too.
had 15
We have 15 in a Chevy Trailblazer.
Why do I believe that?
because we went and got his bike back.
Yeah,
He was holding on to the steps.
but that's a whole nother story.
Took 15 people.
Zach
I
is
found
riding
that
on
clip
the
of that guy riding on that semi
bumper.
when I share my screen. I'll show it.
Yeah,
to you.
yeah.
Oh yeah, please do. I was
Well, let's-
googling it. Looking
Yeah,
Mike,
go ahead.
It's
Do it
hilarious.
now. Let's see it now, Mike. And then
Yeah,
Ian
sure.
can finish up the news after that.
Let's see.
Yeah, after that I can actually do it while you're pulling that up.
Yeah, there you go.
Last thing I really want to touch on is the weather. We have Hurricane Sam, 130 mile per hour winds right now. We are predicting that it's going to swing out into the Atlantic and die out there. But every time we're filming this show, I am totally wrong, and it ends up smacking over into the south somewhere. So South Carolina, watch out.
Like Christian said before, you're about as predictable as the Roanoke weatherman.
Yeah.
So we'll listen to you, Ian.
And then there's another tropical depression forming off the coast of Africa. We'll see what that ends up like.
That's the one Jim Mackey was talking about the other day.
Mhm.
That I didn't catch that when I checked the weather in the morning. But I will say that Hurricane Sam, if anybody's checked it out, it is supposed to hook to the north, hook right to the north.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a monster, man. That's a category 4, 160 mile gusts with I think 140 miles sustained winds, and it looks like the perfect storm when you see it on a radar. It's incredible.
Yeah, it might end up hitting Bermuda. So
It could. That's about where it's supposed to the
Mhm.
east of Bermuda. They're expecting it to take a hard right or north.
good luck to them.
Yeah. But oh, here we go. Mike's got something for us. So it's a video. Oh,
What is the
wow.
point?
man.
That's nuts.
In Atlanta, look how close he is.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow, that Schneider
Yeah.
guy's got to be freaking out.
Now, for all you drivers that don't have a CB, that's why you should have a CB right there. You should have a CB in your
Look at
truck so
that.
that you can communicate with other truckers.
Oh, that looks like.
And he's just
that a different
smoking his
truck?
Black and Mild, rolling.
Wow.
Florida man.
Oh yeah, it's possible he is
Wow.
from Florida.
Look, here's a couple
Georgia.
of
Here's-
ones, too.
here's-
This is one we were talking about.
That's on a bus.
Oh, that's on a bus.
Oh man,
Love TikTok.
Needless to say, don't do this.
the internet will kill.
Wow.
Oh.
What, no trains?
And what's it cost to ride a bus? 50 cents? $1? I mean, wow.
But you don't get the
The thrill of
clout.
the ride.
Yeah, the clout.
Yeah, the notoriety, right?
Yeah. Well, that's
But that's
insane.
all for the news. Back
Yeah.
to you, Russ.
Yeah, that one, he was so close to that other. I mean,
That's crazy. Speaking of crazy, let's get on to Florida, man. We missed it last week, Mike. There were some pretty good ones on there.
yeah.
Let's get through that.
Wait. Before we get into that, did anybody see the alligator being wrestled into a trash can?
No.
Speaking of Florida, okay, there is a new viral video going out of a man wrestling
An alligator.
into a trash can with the trash can. Y'all.
Wow.
So speaking of Florida, y'all need to see that too.
A couple things I want to say, Mike, while you're getting ready, your stuff ready for that. The Jesse Jones, our driver, has been on me every week about mentioning drivers getting out and doing stretches, walking. Jesse is very mindful of his health, and he's a driver just like every one of you. And I keep forgetting to mention. And today I told his wife, Christy, I said, well, we'll call it Jesse's Jazzercise. And so that's what we'll do. So, and Jesse wants me to remind drivers out there, for your own health. Jesse had high blood pressure. He lost some weight. He started taking 1 Bear aspirin a day, I think, and was able to get off of the blood pressure medicine. He's taking his health serious. I really respect that. And so I promised him I would remind our drivers, just like Joel used to do, get out when you park at night, take a couple laps around the truck stop, around your truck. Jesse's big on stretching. He says everybody needs to stretch, and he's right. So, Jesse, that one's for you. Jesse's Jazzercise. Let's ride.
So I think something else we need to talk about
number
there
9 Burger King
is
2 in the morning.
don't eat at the truck stops. All they have is terrible food for you.
Sometimes you have to, Ian.
Oh, I know, but
Don't
try to avoid
The
it.
fruit costs $10 a cup.
Like I know one of our other guys, Joe, he has his own little grill and crock pot. He's always making stuff. I know, Ray, you are too. You're always making homemade food out on the road.
A lot of guys do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did when I was on the road. I know Mike did too.
I had a skillet, and that was it. I didn't even use a microwave. I used a skillet for everything, electric skillet for everything.
I used this
Literally everything.
electric slow cooker, and I
Works for me.
had a fridge and a slow cooker. I did have a microwave, but I didn't use it a whole lot. I used the slow cooker, throw something in the morning, and 12 hours later, 10 hours later, whatever, it's smelling good in the cab. So
Another thing too, I did is, I tried to walk and stretch, but I parked, no matter what, I parked all the way in the back of the truck stop.
I did too.
It was wide open, parked all the way in the back.
You need to move
force
around.
me to walk.
Exactly. Yep. That's what Joel was talking about several episodes back. He would park at the back. That way he could go to the back of his truck and, do whatever he was doing, push-ups or whatever behind the truck, and then take laps around the truck. And
I was walking around that lot in Jackson, Mississippi, and they came out and said, "What are you doing? Looking for lot lizards?"
There we go.
Truckers don't exercise. What are you doing out here?
Yeah. Yeah.
A gator video is sick.
Is it?
Oh, you
is
found it?
Yeah.
Are you able to
Killer.
screen share after he does his Florida man stuff?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Or unless you want to do an intro with it.
Oh yeah, that's the perfect Florida man intro.
Go ahead. Let's do it.
Yeah, there you
You're
go.
ready.
Let's do it. Let me know when you can see the gentleman with the trash can.
Not yet.
Just a black screen.
Is he freed up, Zach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's good.
Yeah.
Technical difficulties.
The screen share. It's
Still
just all
nothing.
black.
Anything now or no?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. So this
Okay,
is a
we're
video.
good. Here we go. Yeah, here it is. Ram.
Oh wow.
Get in there.
He's kind of got the right idea.
Oh yeah.
If you can get him in there
Oh,
and
he
get
gets it
picked
down
up.
sick too.
Oh man.
Oh, hell yeah. You got
I,
it. Oh, man.
he got it
That's
too.
awesome.
Tape. Where's the tape?
That's great.
Bungee cord.
Oh, that's great, man.
Wow.
Sorry, I just
All right.
couldn't resist. That is great. And then he wheels it down his driveway and puts it on the curb. It's pretty nice.
Oh, man.
Wow. Great intro.
Imagine the trash man just rolling up and grabbing that trash can.
He's going
That's
to release
funny.
it. That's cool.
All right. What do
Only
you
in
got?
Florida, you release it right across the street where it came from.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
It's back tomorrow.
The neighbor's pool.
Yeah. All right, Florida man update. We got in a South Florida backyard zoo, a Florida man paid $150 for a full contact experience to play with a black leopard and take pictures with it. The man was mauled, and the owners of the private backyard zoo were charged by Florida Fish and Wildlife for allowing full contact with an extremely dangerous animal, and also for keeping captive wildlife in unsafe conditions.
So is there, I remember that story, Mike. Is there a lot of private zoos in Florida because of all the reptiles and stuff? And
Well, I don't know about the private ones. There are some. I know, like down South Florida, there's a lot of people have exotic animals, and that back when years ago, I think it was Hurricane Andrew that came, the real bad one down there, kind of wiped everything out and let loose, all these invasive species snakes that are not supposed to be down there, and then they just started breeding, and now they'll pay you to hunt pythons down there. Like for every one they catch, they pay so much per foot or per pound, or however it works, but they'll pay you to because it's just ruining. They're just eating everything. they're eating all the mammals down there in the Everglades, and they're just multiplying.
You may know this too, Mike. I don't, but I think I recently read that there's like black panthers or cheetahs.
Florida panthers. Yeah. Sure.
That's insane. Like in the Everglades, I guess.
What?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You ever see that sign of that bear crossing in Louisiana?
Yeah.
Strangest
On
place and stuff.
is that on the 10?
20, isn't it?
On the 20? I was gonna say it was 10 or 20. Yeah, it's right before you get to the 12, matter of fact. But when you're going like into no, it's not.
Like,
it's further east. Yeah.
It's like over there.
Yeah, it says
And then
bear
all
crossing.
right, let's see. Florida man buys a Porsche with check printed from a home computer. In addition to the Porsche 911 Turbo and Destin, he also tried to buy a Rolex from a Merriman Beach. I know I'm not saying that city right.
Miramar, I think it was.
Well, it has an N on the end of it, but I think it is Miramar. Beach jewelry store using homemade checks. So he tried to buy a Porsche, or he did buy a Porsche. Did he buy a Porsche? Yeah, he was able to buy the Porsche with the printed check from home and tried to buy a Rolex. Florida man in a high-speed foot chase with police tries to get away by taking his pants off so he could run faster. As he stripped the clothing off, 4 packs of ribeye steaks tumbled out of his pants. Police said the 25-year-old DeLand man stole the steaks valued at $41. He didn't even get the good. He didn't even steal the good cut.
Right, $10 ribeyes.
Yeah, $10. Yeah, he didn't even steal some fillets. All right, police called over woman screaming. Oh, police called over woman screaming for help. Let me out! Let me out! Among other screams, the neighbors heard as they called the Palm Beach police. When deputies arrived and entered the home, they found Florida man's pet parrot Rambo yelling at them. I actually there's a video of that out there, and I think it was California, where the guy's has one of the Ring cameras or whatever faced on his driveway, and the police show up, and you hear screaming in the background, and the police show up, like 4 cop cars. And, he's working on his car in the driveway, and the guy's like, let me go get the screamer, and goes in the backyard and brings out a parrot. Yeah.
That's funny.
Let's see. Florida man attacks tow truck driver with pair of nunchucks. That's Florida. Fighting off the would-be towing company in a Tallahassee parking garage. The Florida man defends his Kia Spectra and races away.
What Leon?
He got away with his Kia. Fought off the tow man with the nunchucks.
Somebody better call Dog.
Is it nunchucks, N-U-M, or is it nunchuck?
It's none, I think.
None.
No, I thought it was numb.
Yeah.
None.
It'll
You
make
make
it
it
numb
none.
if they know how to use it.
N-U-N.
You put an M on it.
I did. Yeah, it is none.
Nunchucks, yeah.
I always said numchucks, just like I say Massachusetts.
Coachella.
And that's it for the Florida man.
That's it thank you, Mike, for the Florida man update. Mike, since you're up, are you ready to go into your guys, what you've been doing this week?
Yeah, I got a few up here I can run through real quick. Let's see. Again.
You have airbags on your seat. It looks like your seat's bowed down to the right a little bit.
Isn't it?
Destroy it.
Man, when I
looks like you're taking in water on the stern side of the boat.
So it's funny you say that, right? So I don't know if you've noticed that during the show and stuff, but you'll see me kind of try to adjust like this. Yeah. But then I feel like I'm sitting crooked in my seat. But yeah, I know exactly. Every time I look at it.
Any drivers are going to send you any gift cards. It needs to be to Office Max. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a shim.
See, that's straight with my desk. I don't know what's going on there.
Great observation, Christian.
Sorry.
There it
all
is.
right, let me
That's
show
the
you.
deafening snake.
Yeah.
He's got a hair in here.
I actually have a Kenworth driver's seat sitting right over there. I was gonna figure out how to turn it into an office chair with air.
Oh yeah.
But
Steering wheel right there.
let's see. Let's share this.
So you're gonna go over Dala.
Yeah, just
Robbie.
Lee, Dala, and Robbie. I think I got maybe one more. Jack. Can you guys see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, see Lee. All right. So yeah, this was Lee's run, all miles. I had him plan to go over to Southern California. I actually had him a couple of nice loads to get over there. I think I was getting him into California for close to $3 a mile. I was getting him in there for like $6,500. He would have got over to California, but he got to the shipper and another truck had already taken the load. That's a different story for another day. I was fired up that day, sending off some emails.
We remember.
But Russ actually, this was the one you helped me with to get him down to Miami. That was the only look because he was in Cleveland, and he deadheaded up to near Depew. I don't know where it was, but it was Friday afternoon, and he was in a crappy area, but he ended up with a decent week.
So what'd that load pay? That
5,500.
5,500. Yeah.
55.
Talk about it. I like it when you brag about my loads, Mike.
yeah. Russ did help me there. There was another one too. He covered Robbie.
Yeah. So
for Robbie when I was.
It was
I don't know
funny.
what I was doing that day.
Mike had to take care of some stuff that was falling apart on another load. He's like, man, I got their one. I don't know if both loads fell through or what, but he asked me to help with Robbie and Lee, and I got him, pretty much the same kind of load Mike would have got him. But later I called Robbie and I called Lee and I said, hey, can you guys send Mike a text? Just let him know how good of a dispatcher I am. And that anytime he wants to have me book him, that you guys are okay with that. And they both did. And they tagged me in the text. It was great. Friday night.
They started. Yeah. Because it was the same day. I think they both fell apart. So.
Yeah. They both sent you a text with me in it.
Yeah. So, and then his deadhead out of Florida wasn't included on here, but I think I ran his deadhead miles just to see. And I think he was still at between 320 and 330, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
On all miles with his deadhead out of Florida. So he's still ended up doing well. Let's see. Dala. 97.55, 333. He came out of the house. This is another one that I had to that fell apart. He picked up in Missouri, had some issues with his trailer, couldn't make delivery to a Costco on Friday in New Jersey, so he wasn't going to be able to deliver till Monday. So I had a load sitting over in Pittsburgh from when my truck broke down that needed to go to Bethlehem. So I had him
the recovery.
Yeah, I had him drop his trailer in Bethlehem. He bobtailed, got that load, delivered it. I just gave him all the money on it. It was like $2,000 he got on. I think it was probably like 400 or 500 miles round trip, bobtail, and then grabbing a load and taking it back.
And then he was able to go
maybe a little
to Costco
more,
and deliver on Monday. So
Monday
really didn't really hurt him.
And grab a load. And I got him a load. So he doesn't mind going into New York and Brooklyn and stuff. So he picked up out of Brooklyn actually, and then delivered into Pineville, Alabama for $4,000. So that was a good load out of there, and he got some good money going in. And we were able to save his week with that load he recovered, which helped me out too. That load's been sitting there for a little while.
Yeah, it was a big help on his part.
Yeah.
And it helped him out
and
too.
Then Robbie, let's see, this was coming out of the house in Edwardsville, and he kind of just ran this circle and back up. I forget. Yeah, he ran his DeRitter to Kansas City, and then you got him that Jefferson City
to North Carolina,
Missouri to North Carolina. Yeah. and then ran him up to Ohio. So he ended up with 10.5. I think this was the morning of the 8th. This is about 7.5 days, I guess. He delivered the morning of the 8th day. Maybe not. I don't know. A lot of guys, I don't do. It's hard for me to run week to week. I kind of they're all on positive pay, so I don't run them like
right
to get that load in before the pay period ends.
Right.
So that's why I say delivered kind of half the day when they deliver, pick up on the 8th day. And then Jack, too, in Miami, ended up 353 a mile, 10.225.
Miami, Mike. Did you deadhead?
Deadhead him too. Deadheaded him at Ellaville for those tractor loads that we got out of there. And his same thing. He ended up, I think, with his deadhead miles somewhere around 320, I think it was, out of Florida. But he was home. He picked up his load out of Springfield, Ohio, got home Friday night and stayed home till Sunday and left Sunday and went down to Miami to deliver Monday. So he was able to get home for a reset. Those are the couple guys. Yeah, they had some decent weeks. Or put some decent money on them. So we'll see. We kind of just, I don't know, that week I was gone kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm still feel like I'm behind.
So, Zach, can you throw up those pictures I sent to you, and then we'll get on to Christian.
Yeah.
What he's gonna talk to us about today. Atlas and his wife Ashley O'Hara out in Montana. Atlas sent me some pictures a few weeks back. Him and Cody from our home office at Meadow Lark. Leave it right there. So that's a bear track. They went hunting, and that's some beautiful scenery pictures he sent. But he sent me this one. There's a bear track, which I told Zach when I saw it, I don't hunt anyway, but I'm not going hunting if there's bear tracks. That's crazy. But you could see how deep that track was too. I mean, that was a heavy bear.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed did you see those his claws where it was
Right.
dug perfect holes into the ground there?
Well, you can see Atlas's boot print, and Atlas is not a small guy. You can see his boot print, and it's nowhere near the amount of pressure that it put into the ground as that paw print. That's crazy. But yeah, so that was really cool. And there's a story behind this. And just so everybody knows, the fishing contest ended the last day of summer. These were sent to me before that, but we were off a week, and I didn't get a chance to get these up. So Ashley and her husband Atlas went fishing, and he bet her his car that he would outfish her.
What?
Yeah. And I mean, it's his wife, so it's still going to be parked in the same garage, but she beat him, and this is her catch. This is her haul. So she got the title to his Charger, Dodge Charger. I think is what he said it was. But yeah, she outfished him. These are some nice trout, I guess. Yeah, those are trout.
Yeah, I think those are rainbow trout.
Yeah. So those were the last entries into the fishing contest. And actually, that's Cody right there. You see his shoulder blending in with the tree when they went hunting. But so that's the last entry into the fishing contest. First place prize is $350 gift card to your choice, Gander Mountain, Dick's Sporting Goods, whatever. Second place is $250 gift card to one of your choice, the same place. Denny, who owns Al's Corner Market, that's the place that we've talked about a lot. Ian loves it. It's been around Barberton for 100 years, and no, they don't have Barberton chicken. It's much better.
Brown bag, brown chicken.
Yeah, it's really good. So Denny's going to be our judge. Matthew's working on the video, and he said hopefully he'll get it up by Monday. He'll put it up on the channel so everybody can kind of see just a quick video of all the entries, all the pictures and what have you that came in. and then Denny will take a look at it. We'll send it to him. He'll probably check it on the channel and look at it. He knows none of us except for me and Ian, and we didn't enter. So, and Denny's a good guy, good friend of mine. He'll be fair. So probably next week's show, I'm thinking we'll be able to announce who won, and we'll get them their gift cards out, and then we'll move on to next year. We'll do it again next summer. So yeah, let's go, Christian. What do you got?
All right, let's pull this up. Let me know when you can see Deaton and Doty's name here.
We got it.
Got it.
All right, cool. Work. There we go. So there we go. This week's news. What I thought I'd do is take through a couple conversations I had, a couple guys that listened to the podcast, and some issues we had going on, and some feedback too. So
yeah,
obviously we posted the big week last week of the $16,000 week, and a couple guys called wanting to chase it, saying, "Hey, how can I have a week like that?" Some guys that have limitations, others that don't. And I said, sometimes it's like Texas Hold'em, it's just sometimes the cards that you're dealt in the market. And a lot of guys that you saw, especially the refrigerator guys, are over that. They're over that $10,000 target. But one of the calls that came in basically said, "Hey, how do I get on that dispatcher that dispatched that truck?" And it's funny because Brian was on the phone. And it's Brian who dispatches the refrigerated, a majority of the refrigerated trucks that we have over here. And he says, "It was me." And he's like, "Well, then why am I not doing it?" But it is a team effort, so we do have primary and secondary responsibilities. And I'm sure you guys have the same, who's the directly responsible individual, and then the team that also supports that. But there's always trouble when you compare notes. And I think that's the one thing that can be dangerous. We try to pull out roughly the average guys that do pretty well on a consistent basis. And then we do take the good, the bad, and the ugly as well. But anytime two people compare notes, one person walks away feeling disadvantaged. It's just kind of like if, your coworker makes, $400 or $500 more a week than you, and you see it, you're going to feel disadvantaged. And likewise, if it was the other way around. So, I'm glad that guys want to chase it and they're hungry. That sure beats the alternative when you show them big numbers and it doesn't motivate them. So I told Brian that I was going to be talking about it, and he gets a target on his back. So last week we talked about net versus gross. I had some conversations about that. Obviously, because we had the big week, I said, let's look and see what happens this week if it's going to be a smaller net. So this week I'll have, similar to last week, I'll have the company truck, a couple guys that go home, and then a couple of the reefer guys just to show that again. And then this week we had some pretty big PC abuse, and that, as you know, that can be a huge liability. I don't think I need the thermometer where the DOT wants to place it if anybody has an issue, and I don't think anybody else that deals with it does either. So, guys, if you're out there and you're not using PC time properly, first thing is Trish in our standard usually calls me first and says we have an issue. But then we have to get on top of it and take care of it because there are a lot of fines that are associated with it too. So
we've had this, and Christian, you were a part of it when we had Trish on 4 months ago or whatever it was. But Mike Doty, we've both said on the show, I think Ray has said it too. I never used PC. Mike said the same thing, or maybe once. I just did everything I had to do with, I didn't move the truck much unless I was, making money with it. I wasn't using it for personal use. So, and I stayed out on the road. Yeah. That's just how I rolled. I didn't want any part of PC because I didn't want my log scrutinized. And when you go in, when they say bring your paperwork in, pull behind and bring your paperwork in, they see that they're going to dig deep. And every time.
It's like claiming your business at your house as a residence. It's a flag for the IRS, right?
Right.
Yep. Yeah. And the PC wasn't even like a misuse. It wasn't like I should have left and I hit traffic and I turned it off. Sometimes it was just, I just decided I was going to drive on it. And, that puts everybody at risk. So just a heads up. So we're going to follow up on a couple of that, but not to get off on a safety tangent.
Right.
Driver A. So this is our company truck, home every weekend. He ended up working a little more than he would have coming out on Sunday. So we ended up pushing it up a little bit to 86%. But Wisconsin to Carolinas, he basically stayed in the Carolinas and then went to West Virginia and Ohio. Target was 7,500. He did $8,450 at 372 a mile on 2,274 miles. So he was 45% above his occupancy-based revenue. Obviously, he's almost $1,000 above his standard revenue, and he's home. And last week we covered a truck that goes to Illinois, and he's home every weekend. So he's at that 71, 72% occupancy. Did a good job with his revenue-based occupancy is 146%, which is right above his target for his goal, 75% above the difference. A little bit different here. Sure, he came back through Illinois and ended up playing in Ohio and Wisconsin, which will set up for a good week next week, but came out of Arkansas to Minnesota for that Wednesday drop. So that set him up pretty well. A little less on the cent per mile than we like to see. I know it sounds funny when you say that at $3 a mile at 2,500 miles, but as you guys know, there's a captive target. And sometimes when you've got to get right back towards the house, week in, week out, the cent per mile is what suffers. You still may get the gross, but the cent per mile may be the difference. This is something maybe, Russ, you can help me and Mike walk around a little bit. So we have a driver that used to run government freight. That's why it says ex-government freight. Nathan, he's been with us a while. He was actually with Metal-Arc prior to us coming on board. And that agent ended up transferring him over to our board. Fantastic driver, Nathan Singer, nicest guy in the world. And this is the week he put together. He was on government freight for a period of time with Crowley, with the defense contract, and it basically paid $5,000 a week, but it was consistent. The same thing, he had 2.5 days off a week, like we talked with Joe the other week. But here's what he's doing in the market. So he did have 100% occupancy. He ran 2,197 miles and did just above his target. But he did 8,250 at $3.76 a mile, all mile. So, looking back at it, you think, okay, a consistent thing's good, $250,000 a year in the market that we're in now. I've got another gentleman or two that are in the government freight market, and they are running less than, they're running $60, $200, give or take, or less. What's your call? Do I have that conversation that say, guys, the market's good, it looks like it's going to be clear and the runway is going to be freed for the next year or so, or do I just have them stick with what's been consistent and stick with the government freight?
Go ahead, Mike.
Is there any room on those government loads? Are they willing to?
No, you put a bid.
Contract?
It's contractual, so they do bid ups. They know that they are in the position that if they do put it out to bid, there's going to be an issue. Now, we've run through the annual term that we have to, so we can hop out of it, but it's not like we can just rebid it in the middle of it at this point. I did have a discussion while the market warmed up, latter part of last year, somewhere about there, and they just said, hey, if you're not interested in hauling it for this rate, that's fine. Just give us 2 weeks and we'll get you off of it. So it was a pretty short and sweet conversation.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem revisiting it, but it was, and I don't have a problem revisiting it this year. But at some point, you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth when they're running, 250 a mile, 240, 250 a mile on that year in, year out with a 3-day week, a 3-day off week. If things do switch, it's still.
So how did on that 2,100 or 2,100, 2,200 miles? Did he have a reset in? Was he home at all?
No, not this time. And Nathan stays out a good bit. So home is Ohio, so it's easy to end up making money. I mean, this is a week that we could do week in, week out with him, and he more consistently he does now, especially being from Ohio. So he can get through, still get a 34 to 48, and still be pushing, $7,500 to $8,500 a week.
Yeah. But personally, I would lay it out for the driver to decide. Like, I would kind of lay both options out. Like, hey, this is what you're doing now. You're getting home. It's guaranteed. There is more potential over here, and you'll probably make more money, but there's not going to be any guarantees that you'll, be off 3 days. You know what I mean? Like, there's not. There's the unknown, I guess, on one side of it. And
I did broach that conversation once, but it's they want the best of both worlds. Unfortunately, this particular conversation where, he also wanted his home time, but he also wanted to make the same kind of money that was out in the market. I said, the reason the market's like that is because it's open. I said, it doesn't mean we can't look for other opportunities to get you home close to as frequent, 2 to 3 days a week. But there's no guarantee.
He lives in Ohio, right?
Contractual.
He lives in Ohio.
This gentleman lives in Ohio. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So we, living in Ohio, we do it every week. You can run a guy Sunday or Monday out and get back and have the weekend off. He lives in an area that you can do that. And I think, he can be in that $6 to $7 grand range. I don't think he's going to be in that 8 to 9 range, but he can still get time off in today's market. Does that change? I don't think, I think we've talked about this week over week for 6 months. I don't think the market's just going to change, not even until late 2022. And
that's a whole lot of money between here and there, $3,000 a week.
So he can take those weeks though that he wants to be home, and then if he wants to stay out over a weekend and hit that 8 or 9 grand, he can do that too. It gives him more flexibility coming off it. But I will be straightforward with you, Christian. We've tried some government freight, and it never worked out for us. I'm not saying it doesn't work, and I know for the right guy it can work. It just didn't work out for us. And it wasn't us that decided, it was mainly the driver. So but
he lives in a good area.
The guys. Well, and Nathan does, and that's fine because he doesn't really need to be home as often. But when I have Joe who's out in Oklahoma and then Colorado, that's a different situation. You're out in places that do have a little more volatile freight market.
Right.
Yeah. Oklahoma's not great, and Colorado is similar to Florida. Not as bad, but similar.
Right.
Exactly. So that's two. Those are 3 different. Those are living in Ohio. That's you could almost, go spot or Colorado and Oklahoma. That might be a different conversation.
Yeah,
definitely.
Cool. So we'll keep it as is. I guess reapproach the rates again. It never hurts to continue to push the rates up, or at least attempt to and have the conversation. Here's a driver we have out of Florida. Came out of Virginia, basically ran that Midwest circuit, came back through North Carolina and Tennessee. Reefer. This is a reefer. I don't know why I put drive in down there. This is a reefer, and it had a $10,000 target. Came in at $11,699. Here's Mike Mitchell, listener of the show. Nashville, Tennessee to Ohio. And then, I think Carolina's back through Ohio and Tennessee. $10,000 target. I forgot what went on. Something went on for the first part of his load last week. Oh, he got held up. That was an awful situation. I think he showed up it was 15 minutes behind, and it wasn't something he did. The shipper had ended up holding him up a god-awful amount of time. And then when he got to the receiver, utilizing his hours properly, they ended up holding him up there forever. So not his fault.
I love 1,900 miles for $8,800.
I was just going to say, I bet his net was really good though. I bet his
and net. You're wearing, you're putting, instead of running 2,800 miles or 2,900 miles for the week or 3,000, you're putting a less wear and tear on the truck. Now it's different if he's in a full service lease truck. It's not he's in a brand new truck and he's not worried about that. But I was always an owner operator. And if I could put less miles on my equipment and keep the revenue up, I was all about it.
Oh yeah.
So I like that.
And by the way, Dropton did a fantastic job otherwise. So appreciate you listening to the show too, Mike. We'll have to get you on here one time. We'll have to hook that up, Russ.
Yeah, anytime. I've told you.
We'll do it on a week when he's blowing through his target and he's happy though.
Yeah. Okay. Hey,
and so here's the follow-up.
That rate per mile was good though. That's the first thing I saw was that rate per mile. So I was thinking about his net.
It's a good net. And Brian tried to utilize them because of that short week, but that's also a hard sell. You sit somewhere at a shipper all the time, and then you run short miles, and you figure I just sat this whole week. So yes, it does bring a percentage of net home to you, but at the same time, if I sat as long as he did on that for that holdup, I'd want to stretch my legs and start hitting some high marks too. So
yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, definitely. What's his name? Mike?
Yeah, Mike.
Yeah, definitely. Let Mike. We'd love to have you on the show. Just let us know when you can.
I told him that like 3 months ago, and I've dropped the ball. So for those, for that, I'm sorry.
Well, and you said
here
when
is our.
You said when he's happy. So just so you know, Jim Mackey's on the show every week, and Ian makes him mad almost on a daily basis, and he's always on the show. So he doesn't have to be happy.
That's good. No, and he's always honest. Mike's good like that. He and I have a really good rapport too. It's one of those things where it doesn't matter if it's a good or bad day, you can sit down and shoot it. So
yeah.
Here's what they were chasing last week, the $16,000 week, and here's his follow up. So sometimes the cards just fall right. So 2,200 miles following up is fine. I mean, good Lord, it's it just sometimes it just happens. So yeah, and it's just it's sick, but it happens, and so we're happy because you're writing guys with great checks, and to have a $11,000 week, over 11,000 following the $16,000 week. So I'm going to pull this up again next week, and I'm hoping at some point we'll say, hey guys, the roller coaster goes up and it comes down. It's not always green. And,
that's right. But go back to that. Can you go back to that screen one more time? That really stands out to me.
Yep.
Indiana to Illinois, Illinois to Michigan, Illinois to Missouri, Missouri to Indiana, Indiana to Huntington, West Virginia, which is right below Ohio, northern West Virginia. If you're staying good area to good area, that's almost all Midwest. I mean, pretty much is. You can do, and he clearly that's very notable. What he's done the last couple of weeks, but if you are staying in those areas, those rates always, even in a bad market, they're going to be better than other places. So I like the way his dispatcher, does he book himself or is
no.
Okay.
No, it's it's through managed dispatch.
I like how he's dispatched. I mean, that's a great way to run a truck.
And it does take some discipline from the dispatcher, because when you hear that big crank to get over towards upstate New York or get him out of the area, a lot of times they say, well, it's 2 days on the truck and it's going to make a great end to his week, instead of just saying, hey, we're going to find the freight we want. We just have to wait for it to show up. Right.
Yeah.
I took out the Dawson truck. I've fallen in love with this image. So that's my ending from now on.
That's great.
Yep.
Let's ride the teeter-totter. All right. So Joel, you want to go over sports, and then we'll get into trucking questions with Kumar and Jim Mackey, Ray, and Mark Chavez. Are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. I don't know what happened with Jim. I know he said he had to go check in. And I haven't heard from him. Mark, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. I can't hear you very good.
There we go.
There you go. All right.
Job in the house.
Yeah, we're ready. So Joel, hit us up with some sports,
guys,
and then let's do some questions.
Welcome back to sports with me, Joel Howle. It is late September, and it is a football and baseball kind of show with less than 1 week remaining in the Major League Baseball season. We have quite a race going on, especially in the American League. Right now in the American League East, as follows: Tampa Bay would be the first seed if the season ended today. Remember, we have a week left. Over in the American League East, we have the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, and the Mariners, and basically a four-way tie. If the season ended today, the Yankees would be 4th seed, Red Sox 5th, the Mariners 6th, the Blue Jays 7th. If you didn't know, there's 5 seeds. The 4th and 5th seed will play a one-game playoff, and that leaves 3 of these teams out. That's the way it goes. So, American League East, we got Tampa Bay leading in first seed. In first place, we have over in the Central, Chicago White Sox would be your 3rd seed. Now, West, Houston would be your 2nd seed. And as I stated, Yankees and Red Sox will be 4 and 5. If the season ended today, we will find out next week how it goes. Over in the National League East, Atlanta Braves would be the 3rd seed. They currently lead Philadelphia by 3.5 games. We have 5 games to go. Those 2 teams are playing a 3-game set in Atlanta right now. Atlanta took that game, game 1 last night. Over in the Central, Milwaukee Brewers are the 2nd seed. That's where they will place. Over in the West, we have San Francisco and LA with the 2 best records in all of Major League Baseball, 2 games apart 5 games to go. One of those teams are going to be first, probably San Fran. LA, with over 100 wins, will be the 4th seed. That means they would end up playing St. Louis for a 1-game playoff. Anything can happen. Major League Baseball.
Okay.
One game, we know that.
So since you brought up St. Louis, you know,
17 in a row. They've won.
I know they're great, and I know Robbie Miner loves them, even though he's not much into baseball, I don't think, but he's from there. But I will say this. I pulled up Bleacher Report. I think it was yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday morning, I think, or was it this morning? I can't remember. And these guys, and I know everybody's seen this before, but I don't get it. So these guys have goggles on, earplugs, raincoats, and hats, and they're in the locker room. Mike, you're laughing because you know what I'm talking about. They're in the locker room
celebrating,
shooting out champagne bottles and shooting champagne all over themselves. And there's plastic up on the walls.
And tomorrow it'll all be over.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree that it's a great accomplishment to make the playoffs. They haven't even won anything yet. They just made the playoffs, and I saw that on Bleacher Report, and hey, it's an accomplishment. It's a long season in baseball, but what is it, 150 games, Joel?
162.
162?
Yeah, they're 12 back of LA, and yet, you know, LA is going to be – LA could – I mean, 1-game series, you know, anything could happen.
Am I the only one that just thinks that's very odd to – I mean, they had the whole team in there spraying bottles of champagne on each other, but raincoats, goggles, earplugs.
They got their bonus.
I don't get it. I would not do that. I mean, I know I've never been at that level, but even if I won a Super Bowl, I wouldn't do that.
They're celebrating because they know they're not going to
guarantee
you're going in the Browns locker room and you're not even on the team.
I don't know. It just struck me as really odd, and I know we've all seen it.
You're going to be in your garage doing that with champagne if Cleveland wins the Super Bowl. What are you talking about? If you won the Super Bowl, you would definitely be doing it.
You got the next 5
if you
months
won the
off.
Super Bowl personally, you would definitely be spraying champagne. But if Cleveland wins the Super Bowl, you're going to be by yourself in your garage.
But they didn't win
everywhere.
anything yet. They just made the playoffs, and they're what seed? Joel, what's St. Louis?
5th seed.
5th seed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It could all.
Well, how long has it been
one
since
game.
they've made the play? How long
They've
has it been
made
since
every
they made
year.
the play?
Every year the last 21 years. It's not like it's the first time.
So when the Browns win the
first
Super
time
Bowl,
in 20 years.
What's that, Christian?
when the Browns win the Super Bowl, who's going to live in your house? Because I imagine you'll be in a retirement home somewhere.
Dude, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna shoot champagne at Tina. I'll probably be like the Kool-Aid man, and there'll be a thing going through my wall in the front of the house.
Straight down Barberton.
I can't wait for 2047 to get here to hear about that.
Right?
That'd be great.
Thanks for reminding us that we've never won a Super Bowl. One of the most storied franchises in the NFL. Never even appeared in a Super Bowl because speaking
I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
You get a 1957.
No. The Browns won in the 50s a lot of championships, but they didn't have Super Bowls till after that, after Jim Brown. So no, we've never even been to a Super Bowl
until this year.
Oh, well, I hope.
I was in orientation with Justin Boyd with Meadowlark here this past week in Roanoke. And I said, well, who's your football team? You know, because he's from Carolina. He says the Jets. And I was like, no, who put you up to this? You know, who told you it was the Jets? And he's like, no, that's my team. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I like the color green as a kid, so that's my team, and I ride with them. I'm like, yeah, we've been waiting a while, haven't we?
Yeah, there's another team that's been waiting a while.
Another guy with a fireman's hat.
You guys had a chance when Chad Pennington was a quarterback? I think
love Chad Pennington. Out of Marshall,
no,
yeah.
I just remember, didn't they make the playoffs with Chad Pennington? I'm not sure, but I think they did. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, and then I don't know if they made the playoffs with him or not. He was never healthy enough with his shoulder. But
You're right.
It was up Sanchez, right?
Vinny Testaverde.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sanchez. I forgot about him.
Was a beast.
Yeah, they pulled Vinny Testaverde out of the grave. He's like, yeah, I'm still working out looking for a second chance.
Hey, Vinny was our quarterback. He backed up Bernie Kosar. And when Bernie, I don't remember, they traded him or something to Dallas. But it was actually, Belichick benched Bernie. Bill Belichick was the coach of the Browns. He benched Bernie Kosar, who is from Cleveland, loved by the city. And Belichick was basically booed out of Cleveland after that. It's too bad that happened. But
even he couldn't win in Cleveland.
No, even he couldn't win. But Testaverde played here before he went to the Jets. I believe.
Oh,
I know
really?
he played here. I think it was before he went there. Yeah.
Speaking of Belichick, that's going to be a good game next week. Brady
Sunday.
going back into New England.
Brady
Yeah,
and
I got Tampa.
I can't
all
wait.
day.
Brady going
I
back
got-
to New England, man.
I took Belichick. I took the
He's-
Patriots.
I don't know, man. Brady's going to carry that chip on his shoulder into that stadium, man.
What
Belichick
chip? He
is-
won the Super Bowl 2 years in a row after.
I know.
he left.
He's one of those. He's just
53
one
to
of those that
36 is my
seems
guess.
like, he's just one
Belichick
of those
is
that
a-
seems like he carries that with him, you know?
He's
That's
a
why
defensive
playing into his 40s.
mastermind. This is the smartest defensive coach that there ever was, arguably. Bill Belichick. He's going to dial up some crazy defensive scheme. Matter of fact, I saw they just traded for, or they just added, who was it? That dude from San Francisco.
Talk about the Bucks.
No. The
Richard
There's a
Sherman.
gnat or something here. The Patriots. The Patriots just signed another Richard Sherman. They signed. He's a
Those are the
beast.
Bucks.
No, I thought the Patriots did.
They were second. in line.
Oh man. Well, anyway, I think
Yeah, they got
Belichick's
that
going to
beast.
dial it up.
Sherman's on the AB plan anyway. Antonio Brown.
Okay, maybe
Get
you're
hurt
right.
after the first
Maybe it
game.
was the Bucks. I read it wrong, but
I forgot the seal.
The seal.
the seal, Jim.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to air horn that.
Yeah, we will mark it down. Kumar's already writing the time down.
Yeah, I've been off the air, no signal or nothing, getting my trailer loaded. I just got it loaded and I put it back on and I forgot I was on. So I'll mute it for a while.
Oh no, you're good because Kumar wrote the time down. We'll mute that, or we'll put an air horn there. We haven't had an air horn in a while.
All right. Sorry.
No, it's all good. So yeah, are you ready, Joel?
Yeah. Finish out some football.
Yeah, talk about a couple of the notable games this week, and
All
let's
right,
get on to
yeah.
questions.
So let's go with the NFL. We have the Rams, the Cards, the Panthers, the Broncos, and the Raiders still unbeaten. Congratulations to Austin Berkman for
Let's go
last
Broncos.
week. This week, week 4, we have Jacksonville at Cincinnati. That'll be tomorrow night. The 0-3 Jags.
Yeah.
Sunday, Tennessee visits the winless Jets. Good luck. Good luck, Wilson. Come on, put some points up, bro. Detroit at Chicago.
Man, I'm surprised Chicago's coach made it through last week. 9 sacks, no game plan.
Their media's still dogging them.
Oh, I know. It's fun reading
Wait a
about
minute.
it.
Who did I select that?
All right. Indy will visit Miami. 1 o'clock Sunday. Our Cleveland Browns take on Minnesota Vikings out there. The Washington football team takes on the Atlanta Falcons down there. Houston Texans at Buffalo Bills. New York Giants visit New Orleans. Kansas City Chiefs at Philly. Carolina Panthers at them boys down in Dallas. Seattle visits San Fran. Arizona at the LA Rams. Pittsburgh visits Green Bay. Baltimore visits the undefeated Denver Broncos. Tampa Bay travels north to New England. And Monday night, we got the Las Vegas Raiders visiting the LA Chargers. And that is week 4. Moving over to college football in the NCAA. Great week of football last weekend. This weekend, going from 10 to 1, we have number 10 Florida Gators visiting the 4-0 undefeated University of Kentucky Wildcats. Number 9 Notre Dame takes on the Cincinnati Bearcats. That's undefeated
gonna be a good
Cincinnati. Number 9 versus number 7. The number 8 Arkansas Razorbacks take on the number 2 Georgia Bulldogs. Another
good game.
upset alert. As I mentioned, Cincinnati in South Bend taking on the Irish. Number 6 Oklahoma at Kansas State. Number 5 Iowa Hawkeyes visits Maryland. Number 4 Penn State Nittany Lions take on Indiana Hoosiers. Number 3 Oregon Ducks at Stanford. Number 2 Georgia Bulldogs host Arkansas Razorbacks. And number 1 Alabama host the Ole Miss Running Rebels. I'm sorry, not the Running Rebels. The Ole Miss Rebels. Running Rebels would be UNLV. My bad. Upset alert. Don't discount Ole Miss. There's going to there's going to be a lot of points in that game. I think the over for sure.
Joel's been saying that all season.
I've been saying all sure 50-50.
He thinks Ole Miss has a shot at beating Alabama.
They're going to surprise some people.
Anybody's got a shot any given Sunday.
They'll
So
put up a lot of points. So
yeah.
that's it right now. NBA starting their training camp. Nothing going on in NHL.
Let's get to some trucking questions.
Let's get
Kumar,
to some
then.
trucking questions. Kumar, moving right into it. You ready?
How's it going, Kumar?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good.
Good.
Kumar went 0-6
You ready to
last
slap
week.
these boys around, Kumar?
Yeah.
Ready to go?
So Joel, just so
Yeah.
we know who pays the pot, the $20 this week. Who was the worst in our pick'em last week?
Oh, we're
Oh,
doing that.
man.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I didn't throw them away.
I think he's in the room, Joel.
Ray, you're in the lead right now.
0-1 was the worst, right?
Well, that is true.
That's true.
Well, Carol, but we're not going to count her. She doesn't understand. You got to pick all the teams. She tried, and she paid the $5. So
It's 9-7, Mr. Nieto.
Ray,
the best.
yeah, you were the worst
best
last
worst?
week. Ray, yeah. So you got to pay the pot. You got to take Kumar. If he loses, you pay the pot.
You got to do this dollar a mile load.
Okay.
All right, Kumar, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Let's go 0 for 11. Number 1. You're 0 for 6 last week.
Mackie, Mark, can you hear?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, let's go.
All right, number 1. How can you check for a leak in hydraulic brakes? A. Pump the brake 3 times, then hold down the pedal for 5 seconds. If the pedal moves, there may be a problem. Or is it B? Push the brake pedal down as far as possible, then release. If the brake pedal returns to its normal position, there may be a problem. Or is it C? Push the brake pedal down as far as it goes and release. If the brake squeaks, there may be a problem. What do you think? How can you check for a leak in hydraulic brakes?
Got any idea, Kumar?
Yeah, let's go with. I'm going to go with A.
Pump the brakes down.
Pump
3
the brake
times.
3
times.
times, hold down the pedal for 5 seconds. If the pedal moves, there may be a problem.
Okay, he
So
said
it's not
that.
6 seconds.
What? Jim Mackey, Ray.
I'm gonna go with
I
Kumar.
agree.
Hey,
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me too.
All right,
All right.
we got a tie.
All
Back on the wagon.
1-0. 1-0. Question 2. A low air pressure warning signal should activate A, when the tank pressure falls below 120 psi, when it falls below 60 psi, when it falls below 30 psi, or when it falls below 10 psi. Kumar, a low air pressure warning signal.
Let's go with 30.
30 psi. What do you say, Jim Mackey?
60.
60.
That was my next answer.
That is correct, ladies and gentlemen. A low air pressure warning signal.
I think
activated.
after getting beat up so bad last week, Kumar went to the DMV and got him a self-study book for your CDL. He's been reading about air brakes.
all week
everything.
they didn't ask that question.
Wait,
He sat at the computer and took the test.
You got it wrong. Kumar.
Okay.
It wasn't 30, it was 60.
crap.
So it's they tied on the first one, so we're up by 1, guys.
All right, Kumar. So
Wait, hold on.
It's 1-1.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay. I forgot. Got this weird
If he gets it,
scoring.
if he gets it right,
If he
doesn't
gets it
matter.
right,
Yeah,
he
'cause then
gets
I'll
it.
never get it
That
right.
makes sense. Yeah. So it's 1-1. Go ahead, Joel.
1-1. Question 3. If the engine is not overheated, is it completely safe to remove the radiator cap? A, yes. B, no. C, yes, as long as the radiator isn't damaged. D, yes, as long as there's no overflow. Is it safe to remove the radiator cap if the engine is not overheated, Kumar?
I'm going to go with C.
What was C again, Joel?
He's going with C, yes, as long as the radiator isn't damaged.
Read the answers one more time.
If the engine is not overheated, is it completely safe to remove the radiator cap? Yes. No. Yes, as long as the radiator isn't damaged. Yes, as long as there's no overflow.
What do you say, Jim?
I'm thinking it's D.
No, you don't take it off.
Mark
'Cause
says
it's-
no. Jim
Because it's
says
over. If
D.
it's
Jim-
if it's
D was-
overheated,
Jim said D, no overflow. If there's no
Yeah, because we don't
I
know if
agree.
the engine is actually on or not. So
I
as long as
agree
there's
with
no
Jim.
overflow.
If there's no overflow, yeah, you.
Well, this
you should
said.
take it off.
So what do we say, Kumar? You're going with that too?
Yeah, I'll go with C.
He's
You
going
wanna
with C.
see.
The correct answer that they had was no.
No.
The coolant system must be completely cool.
Chavez got it.
But
One for the
Sir.
Could be a
drivers.
gray area in there.
Chavez, you pulled us through.
That's
Abby.
for
2-1.
Regen. All right. That rhymes with regen.
Region.
All right. 4. Total stopping distance, Kumar, equals A, reaction distance and braking distance, or B, braking distance, stopping distance, or C, reaction, viewing, braking distance, or C, perception distance, reaction, and braking distance. This is a terrible question.
What?
Okay, so your total stopping distance.
Stopping distance.
Do you
Is
is
it
it a reaction and a braking distance, or is it a braking and a stopping distance? It is a reaction, viewing, and a braking distance, or is it a perception distance, reaction, and braking
So
distance?
these things make up the time that it takes
Okay.
you
For
to
your-
stop. What would you say?
We'll bring the
Can you say A again? Just one more time. I like when you
Reaction.
reaction distance / braking distance was A. B was braking distance / stopping distance. The C was reaction distance, viewing, braking distance. And D was perception distance, reaction, and braking distance. Good gosh, just flip a coin. This is on me. All right, I'll give you.
I'll go with C.
He's going with C.
I'm probably not
C.
right. I'm not confident.
All right, so the
Mackie?
answer-
Oh, no, wait. Mackie, Ray,
I'm gonna go
Mark.
with- I'm going to go with A.
I'm thinking it's A as
Oh,
well.
if it's
I was going
A.
to say the same thing.
If it-
Reaction and braking distance.
Yeah, I think
Well,
it's A.
We could
so
be wrong.
D was perception distance, reaction, and braking distance.
That's
So
what
kind
I
of a
would
trick
say.
question. So, yeah, that was kind of goofy. So throw in perception there. If you ever see it on a test, that's the right answer. So,
So
Kumar,
it was
1
D,
and 3.
huh?
So
We didn't get it because Mark answered after Joel was already
Joel.
saying the answer.
No.
All right. Question 5.
the robot on the line?
That's question 6.
2-1.
All right. Question 5. What is a common cause of tire fires? A, cold tires. B, overinflated tires. C, underinflated tires. Or D, all the above.
Question.
What was the first answer, Joel? I couldn't hear you.
Cold tires.
Cold.
I never heard the
Yeah, well,
Cold?
like cold to the. Okay.
Cold tires, overinflated tires, underinflated tires, or all the above.
What do you think, Kumar?
Common cause of tire fires.
Underinflated tires.
Kumar says C, underinflated tires. What do you truck drivers say?
Underinflated.
Yeah, I say the same thing.
Somebody says.
Underinflated.
Boom.
All right, y'all are all correct on that one.
You got a tiebreaker?
So
It's
that's
2-2.
3-2.
It's 2-2. That tied us up.
All right, 2-2.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I asked 5 questions. You All got a right. 2-2 on?
Miss my
No
toot
singing
toot.
this week. Sorry, I know it breaks your heart.
Your achy breaky
Question
heart.
6. Hey,
Can you
I'll
sing that song?
next week? The Miley way. All right. What is Optimus Prime's make and model? Is it A? Was it an 89 Volvo cab over? Was it B? Was it a 91 Kenworth T800? Was it a C? Was it an 85 Peterbilt 359? Or was it D? Was it a Freightliner? Was it an 86 Freightliner cab over?
A.
What was A again?
The
An
Volvo.
89 Volvo cab over. Optimus Prime.
Ray, Jim, or Mark, do you guys have any idea?
What was the question?
What,
It's C.
what was the make and model of Optimus Prime?
Was he a Volvo 89 Volvo, a 91 KW, an 85 Pete, or an 86 Freightliner cab over?
Oh, an 85 Pete.
Yeah.
I was going to
I'll-
say, what do you
I was
say?
gonna
Mark?
say Kenworth. Kenworth.
Okay. I was going to say the last one, Joel, but I don't
What
know.
do you say, Coom?
I went with
He already went.
yeah, Volvo.
He went with a Volvo. Wow, we have all answers, different answers on this one. Survey said, you ready? Correct answer
But all the
is
drivers just have to get one out of all of them.
86 Freightliner
right,
cab
right.
over.
I got it.
Nerd.
Nerd.
That one.
I got
Okay,
it.
well,
How about the Decepticons?
which movie are you talking about? 'Cause
The
he's
cartoon.
Oh, the cartoon. Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about the movie.
I thought we were talking about the movie too.
The only reason
Yeah,
I
it was a
got
Volkswagen.
it was because 3 or 4 weeks ago, Zach kept talking about Optimus Prime. I'm like, what is Optimus Prime? I had no idea. So he brought it up on the big screen. and
That's
I
where
was-
you like order.
I
things,
looked at the
right?
truck and I remember my dad had I'm pretty sure the same truck. It was like an 80s model Freightliner and it looked just like it. The cab over. So that's the only reason I know.
He still watches Transformers.
So
It's a good show.
yeah, I guess do I count? I'm a driver, so that
Well,
would-
you also saw
Wow.
the answer.
Wow, we're
I
we're
didn't-
really starting to take it out of his hands at this
All
point.
right, Christian, anyone got a question here? Let's get this
All right,
tiebreaker
Coon,
done.
what is 2 plus 2?
I got a few here.
Well, what kind of math are we talking?
The new kind.
I don't know. 22.
Well, here you go. Kumar,
What's that?
on the side of the trucks that you see running through Ohio,
Running through
it
Atlanta.
says the letters PUCO. Do you know what that stands for?
Pick up cab weekly.
Oh, not W.
What?
What was the
Oh, it's O.
question?
Puco.
PUCO, PUCO in Ohio. It's given out by the state of Ohio to carriers that are in the state of Ohio.
Pick up cab Ohio.
I forgot none of my drivers are from Ohio that are on here.
Yeah. What are your guys' answers?
What are
Yeah. That's a great job, Kumar. I like that.
oh man.
Yeah, no Googling, Ray.
What did Ray?
Partial utility, partial PUCO, partial utility cargo, Ohio.
No.
That was correct.
Was it? No.
No, I have no idea.
I can't even remember what it stands for. And I have a PUCO
What does
number.
IFTA stand for?
International Fuel Tax Credit.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know
Ding,
what.
ding,
I have the
ding.
answer. I know the
I don't know what.
answer.
What does
for.
PUCO stand for?
Public Utilities Commission of Ohio.
Yes.
I wouldn't have never guessed.
And they want carriers in the state to have those to have that number. It's basically like a DOT number.
Their Google reviews are really bad.
They're terrible to work with.
1.8.
Hilarious.
Bogus service delivery fees. Not enough staff to accommodate the customers.
It's terrible. Anyway, you know
What's that
what?
on the wall?
Speaking of that, I've had to fight with Ohio. For hire trucking companies, you can buy if you're a for hire company. So in other words, you get paid to haul freight. You're tax exempt when you buy equipment. I've bought a ton of equipment. Every single piece of equipment, whether it's a truck or a trailer that I buy, we get a letter from the Attorney General's office trying to tell me that we're denied the tax exemption. And literally, isn't it everything every time, Zach?
Yes.
And then Carol has to go through. Carol sometimes works days on sending them emails, letters. It's ridiculous. And then she'll get it straightened out until we buy another piece of equipment, and it happens all over again. And the Attorney General will send us threatening letters. You owe $6,000 in taxes on this, and blah blah blah. And we're like, no, we're a for hire company. But yeah, so that's PUCO.
Yeah, Ohio, if you're watching this.
Yeah, come on, you got to clean that up, man. We're a for hire trucking company, or we're gonna move to Florida with Florida Man.
I had to pay taxes too on my truck.
Yeah, I don't know what the state in Florida how that works, but Ohio.
Are you
if
talking
you're-
about the sales tax, or are you talking about your
Sales
personal
tax.
or the property section of the
sales tax on when you purchase
Okay.
equipment? And every time I've bought equipment over the years, they send me a letter and deny me, and then they figure it out, but it's so bad. The service, that department is so bad. They don't understand, it's just so bad. So
I've never
Carol's
seen
got
that
it down now,
before.
but
That's amazing.
it's a process. Carol's got it down now, but usually it takes, she'll send letters and letters, and then we get an Attorney General letter saying, you got 10 days to pay this. And then she goes through them and gets it corrected. So it's funny now. I mean, it's almost to a point where it's funny, but
So your county or city taxes you guys pay on your equipment there as well in Ohio?
no, not on county
it?
or city. No, just state. And you don't pay it on we don't pay it on our equipment annually either. It's just sales.
Right. So you don't have any tax on the equipment
No.
annually, even
No.
trailers or anything else through the city or county.
No. And if
Okay.
you, and you know, if you're, like I said, if you're a for hire company, you know, you're tax exempt as far as the equipment tax, sales tax. And
Yep.
it's just comical how funny it is that, I mean, I think there's like 3 people in this department. They're probably bombarded with emails from companies, and it takes forever to get the response. That's why I think it generates a letter from the Attorney General, because Carol will send a letter immediately. We fill out this form. It explains everything, puts all our information on there. Yes, we're tax exempt. This is what we haul. This is who we haul it for. And then she'll send it off. And by the time they process it, they're already saying, we don't have anything from you. So here, we send you a letter from the Attorney General's office. You owe sales tax you didn't pay. And then by the time, you know, Carol's got to get back in and say, no, we did notify you. This is the thing. And it's comical. But anyway, I'm not going to get off on that. Guys, thanks. It was a good show.
Who won?
Jim Mackey, you won, Mark. You get to pay the
Yeah,
$20
there you go.
this week into the pool.
It was a tie.
Yeah. And I think we'll start collecting all this
Never.
probably just a little before Christmas. Christian was picked St. Jude's, which I love. It's a great charity.
Yeah.
So we'll send it. Ray, I'm marking you this week. You got to throw the 20 in the pot.
Okay, I sure will.
All right. I know you will.
Next week.
And with that, anyone else got anything?
Yeah, sorry I missed most of the show.
That's all right. We talked about you quite a few times.
But when you came back, you really contributed with that seal.
Yeah.
I hate it. I really
Yeah.
hate it when you bring all your paperwork, you get back in your truck, you move it away from the dock, and you get to a place where you go slide your tandems. You go back there, you slide your tent, get ready to do that, and it is that, oh man, I forgot the seal in the truck.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the all man part. I heard all something,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was all man.
All we heard was air
That's
horn,
great.
Jim. And
That's
and
right.
hey, we haven't had an air horn in several weeks, right, Kumar? Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah. So thanks for the
And the
the air horn.
viewership is
Yeah,
up
thanks
because
for
of it.
Take care of
making me do extra work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hey, Joel.
next week, I believe it's what's next? Yeah, next week, Ryan Spoonamore from Metal Arc will be on with us. Some really good program that most of us are certified in, and is going to be going over. And I'll just leave that up to him to talk about, but it's a very important subject. So we're looking forward to having Ryan on again next week. And other than that, thanks to Truckworx Kenworth of Dothan, Alabama. Brian's said the truck market's going so crazy. He asked me if I wanted to sell him any of my Pro Stars back, that he said I could probably pay you the same money you paid 2 years ago for them. And I said, no, because I can't replace them. Over the road apparel, work clothes for the modern day trucker, Prime Wellness and Performance, Louis Vasquez Place in San Antonio, Texas. And be sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Have a safe week, everybody, and go Browns, go Indians, and go Cavaliers.
As of yesterday, they're not the Indians anymore.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I got to change that next week.